Hey everyone, Senraikai here. Today I'm gonna come with you with a update video. Something I haven't done in quite a while, I don't think. So that's fun. So a few things I want to talk about. One of which is my microphone. Like I mean the overall theme of this video is gonna be kind of about like improvements going forward, or rather just like improved motivation to try to really put effort and energy into the channel to try to make it more successful, because the channel's been kind of on life support for quite a while, with like little blips up here and there that would eventually level back down. A lot of reasons for that. Of course, the biggest one being for the most of the history of my channel, I was a NEET, like no job or anything like that. So perfect condition to like make a YouTube channel and all that, but not the case anymore. Last 2.5 years, I think at this point, I've had a real 9-to-5 job, and 40 hours a week. Didn't leave a lot of energy or time for the YouTube channel. Especially if you do view it as like a job, and real job paying you like $18 an hour or whatever, and you look at your your YouTube channel, your Patreon, that's like $32 a month, right? Like if you look at it that way, it doesn't really feel too worth it. And even like the fun factor that there is with a YouTube thing, because it is like more of a hobby than a job, right? It's supposed to be fun. Like when you have such a narrow window of free time, it kind of makes you try to prioritize things that are more fun, or at the very least less energy dependent fun, right? Like when you're tired after a long day, sometimes the most fun thing you want to do is just like lay down and watch TV, because you get a good amount of fun, little to no effort. Even video games, which is barely more effort than that, kind of can easily go by the wayside, as you are like, I mean, the TV is right there, I could just watch that instead, and it's just as easier, and it is. And then you start to just really feel how, the effect having a real job, being a real adult, and the soul-crushing nature of just all of that, right? So the point I was trying to get to is, through all of that, my motivation and time to do so, to put towards the channel, dwindled greatly, for sure, especially as I tried to do like various improvements in my life, like trying to go to the gym to try to cut down on the fat a little bit and cut up on the like muscle gain, that balancing out to get one down while the other one gets up to achieve that perfect form, as Cell from Dragon Ball Z would put it. Anyway, the point is, I'm gonna try to be putting some more effort into the channel. Like this last season, I think I only reacted to one show. I almost reacted to 2 shows, like I watched the first episode of My Dress Up Darling, or season 2 of it, the first episode, but there were some technical difficulties, like my recording software crashed partway through, so I had to like, that the it ended up being 2 separated recordings that I would eventually have to like throw into an editing software and try to get that all fixed into one coherent video. And I kept putting off doing that, and eventually just fell further and further behind, so that just ended up not happening. So almost did 2 reactions this season, but in the end just did one Watanara. And if you're not into Yuri, which I'm sure some of you aren't, might as well have been a dead channel, right? But hope next season starting soon, right? I think so. So I will try to do more than one show for this season. I might even do one of those things where you like look at the seasonal chart and kind of like talk about what's on there, what you want to watch and all that. I haven't done that for like a bajillion years, but that might be cool. Maybe like the way I'll do it is I'll mark ones that I know I'm gonna watch, mark some ones that I think I might watch, that in those ones the audience, being you, could kind of like tell me, oh, that one you marked as a potential one, that's a pretty good one, I read the manga, you should check that out. Maybe get some of that going on in a potential video. But as far as like actual improvements, or quote unquote improvements, the mic, like I started to talk about at the beginning of the video, like for like most of my YouTube channel, I've never been happy with how the mic sounds. Like for most of my YouTube channel, I've had a good mic, Blue Yeti, supposed to be a good mic, but I would plug it in, use it, change settings according to like YouTube videos I would watch, and it would just still suck, still not sound great. Like at times it was my fault, because I would sometimes like try to put the mic behind the monitor so it wouldn't be in my way, kind of like it is right now. But the sad reality is it's never going to sound good when you do that. But of course, at that point was kind of a low point as far as like how much I cared about the channel. So I didn't care as much that it didn't sound good. But like I said, motivation's high to improve things. You know, having it right there, getting rid of the pop filter, it's probably important, but getting rid of it also helps because that was a lot more bulk, kind of blocking me. But if it's just the mic, like it's a mild annoyance having it there. It's not too bad. But anyway, I did some more settings adjustment, and I think with that and the placement of it, I think it sounds okay. Not great, but good enough where I don't rewatch part of the video for quality assurance and think to myself, it just that the mic ruins it, you know. So I think it's in a decent place right now. It's never gonna sound great, probably unless I get one of those fancy audio interfaces that all the cool top 1% Twitch streamers use. But obviously, I can't afford. The channel does not have the budget for such fancy luxuries, right? So maybe someday. Of course, in an actual reaction video, you're not gonna see much of the mic because what if I could put it up now? Well, it would probably help if that was positioned a bit better. Oh, there we go. Because this is where the subtitles would appear, so you don't really see the mic as much, so wouldn't be an issue for you guys. It's just a me problem, really. The second thing is, as you may have noticed, I have a green screen behind me. Like, no, you might have thought I moved into a nice place with all that YouTube dinero, but no, it's all fake. It's all pretend. I don't really have a 10 out of 10 awesome room. I would love it. I would love this room. You know, if one day I can make that happen, you know, that'd be great. But still better than what I had before, right? Like, because I did use a green screen a couple years ago, back when I didn't even have a room. I was still in the living room with my setup. Very awkward to try to record anything for sure. But kind of needed a green screen at that point. But once I got my room, I kind of like faded that in the background. I was gonna say no pun intended, but is that really a pun? But as my room's kind of getting more and more cluttered with just stuff I have no place for, it's looking worse and worse, and it's getting one of those things where it's starting to bother me. So I think I'm going to start doing the green screen more. It's definitely difficult because I have to get it like real close, like uncomfortably close to me to make it work, and it a lot of times doesn't look great just because the lighting, because it has to be so far forward that the light that's on top of my roof, it like, you know, it's too far forward to get that looking good, because with green screens you want even lighting, so the green screen's one consistent color, and if you don't have that, it won't look very convincing. I think it looks decent, all things considered. Not too much I can do about that. Like I may looking at getting some like additional lights to place strategically to try to make it look even better. Something to look into later, maybe. But overall, I think it looks okay, right? I don't like how close it is, but hopefully I can just get used to that, because I do really like how it looks. Like when I look at the preview footage and I see myself in front of that, I'm like, this looks so much better than my real room. It's almost like a VR experience where I almost believe I'm there until I look behind myself and the illusion is just crashed, like shattered glass just falling around me. But it is what it is. But like I said earlier, like I have a real job now, and honestly, I hate it. I hate it a lot. You know, I went from like a decade of just living at home, no job, very minimal responsibilities, just very shielded from being an adult in a lot of ways, right? Like, I got government aid in the form of food stamps, you know, like you use that to buy food, right? So that was covered. And I could make a little bit of money online to kind of cover some very basic necessities that were not food related. So like I got by like that for a long time because I didn't need a job. So it was very easy to justify not getting a job when you don't have the need. But of course, at some point, you know, things have to change, right? So then I had to get one, and it's been a rough adjustment to say the least. Not to make this too much of a my personal blog kind of video, but the point is I don't like it, and it's very soul crushing. So that does a lot to kind of motivate you to want to make your YouTube career work. You know, make it more viable, make it successful. Because if I could just make a living doing this, making content for people that want to see it, having fun, that would be great, you know, right? Like for everyone, it's pretty much a win-win no matter how you look at it. So if I could make that happen, that'd be great, you know? Like, I remember when I first got into YouTube, I had these kind of aspirations to make Mr. Beast money, PewDiePie money, like just crazy amounts of money. How great that would be, because, you know, the average guy doesn't have too many opportunities to become super duper rich. Unless, you know, so there are very few avenues to do that realistically. But being a YouTuber, especially if you got into it early, you know, that was an avenue for that. But realistically, very, very few people can actually do that. So at some point, my goal shifted slowly but steadily to, like, can I make the equivalent of minimum wage where I live doing YouTube? Because that would be the absolute dream come true. So that's really what my goal has been for quite a while now. So with all that being said, that's kind of motivated me to try to, you know, make changes to try to make the channel more profitable, which is kind of a big thing, big part of the video. So, like, with, what should I say next? I guess I'm trying to think of what the order I should say these things, but recently I put out a video on the channel reacting to a video by Giga, like, getting into the Fate series, or trying to understand it, right? It's kind of a proof of concept of something I kind of want to do going forward. Just put out videos like that, because almost always those are going to do better on views and, like, potential getting new viewers to the channel than reacting to 12 episodes of a currently airing, you know, unpopular, not in the public hive mind consciousness, out of sight, out of mind, nobody really cares about it show. Like, I enjoy reacting to those, even if it gets like 12.5 views in a week, you know, it's fine. But if I actually want my channel to grow, I can't just do that. So that's kind of my rationale behind trying to seek popular YouTube videos that are somewhat anime related to kind of react to. You know, the added benefit being that I can actually usually include the actual footage in those, so even lowering the barrier of entry, right? Rather than having to, like, download the episode of some show, right? And just much more widespread appeal, I guess is the overall point of that. So I figure adding that into my regular stuff, because it's not even that time consuming. Because again, like, even a 12 episode show, you know, if you're watching it as it airing, it's like a 3-month time commitment, 12 episode commitment. You know, if it shows, like, declines viewership after 3 or 4 episodes, you either drop it and get a reputation as someone that never finishes anything, or you keep watching something that's not improving your channel at all. You know, so a bit of a rough situation. But so that's a change that's happening. So hopefully that gets some good results. The other part of making money is about the Patreon. So for a while, like, I did take a long break from it, but you know, for a while I have had the option to essentially commission me to react to a show, an anime of your choosing, right? But it's always been very finicky, very awkward, because, you know, it's kind of trying to put a round peg into a square hole kind of thing, because you're essentially, like, buying something, commissioning something. But the way I did it was through Patreon with the monthly subscription, right? And those don't really jive together. So I would often get people being like, hey, if I request you to watch this, do I have to, like, stay pledged until you finish it? But I would always tell them, no, you just pledge once and then you can cancel later on, you know, like, it's fine. But yeah, just very, very awkward. So Patreon does have an option where you can actually set up a little shop to sell things, including digital merchandise. It's still not 100% ideal, but I think it's better. So basically, if you want to commission me to react to a show of your choosing, it's now easier to do that, because you just go over to the shop, and hopefully I click on the right one. Yes, that is the right one. Yeah, basically, yeah, you just click on the buy button on this thing, and it'll showcase on my end, on my list of stuff, it'll say, hey, so-and-so just bought this thing. And then you can, the person that has that same name will message me and say, hey, I just purchased, you know, the right to choose an anime for you to react to. I would like you to react to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Go do that. Be like, okay, sounds good. And that's just end of transaction. No need to cancel anything or ask any questions, really. I mean, there's always potential for questions, I guess. But I think it's much, even though it's not perfect, I think it's much better. So that's cool. You can go over to my Patreon and click on the shop button. Should show that. But it's not just that. Also, the YouTube videos itself. Like, I do want people to also have the option to commission me to react to a YouTube video, right? What I got here, basically, for $9.99, you can pick some random YouTube video. It doesn't have to be anime related. Yeah, I'm just that level of desperate that I'll just take anything. As long as it's like appropriate for the channel, like not something that's gonna get me canceled or the video deleted or anything like that, right? You know, so not a high bar, right? Like if it's a video that's, you know, that belongs on YouTube, it's probably fine, you know. But so there's that too, right? So given those two avenues for extra support of the channel, also I have like an early bird special kind of thing going with both of them, where the first 5 people to do either of these will get 10% off, which I couldn't literally do percentages. Like it technically gives you that option, but it wouldn't work for me for whatever reason. So I just manually was like, okay, $1 off for this, $5 off for that. It's close enough to 10%. So first 5 people on both of those get that discount. No, it's nothing crazy, but it's something, right? So, you know, if you could do those things and help me make the channel more viable, more successful, I would certainly appreciate it. I probably should mention that as far as like commissioning an anime series reaction, only allowed to have like 3 of those active on the channel at any given time. So if you buy that while there's 3 anime, you know, currently running on the channel from similar people, then that goes on like a waiting list, and we'll wait until one of those 3 shows is finished, and then we'll slide into that. But that show will be, when it is in the active slot, it is reacted to at least 2 episodes every week, right? So just kind of a little bit of disclaimer there. Also, there are just some basic reminders, but the Patreon, you know, $5 a month gets you early access to videos that are like not seasonal, and at the $10 tier you get access to Patreon exclusive stuff. And currently, Lucky Star is the Patreon exclusive reaction series. I think I'm at episode 16, 17, something like that. It's technically a rewatch, but like it's been a million years since I watched the show before, so it's basically a blind reaction for all intents and purposes. But having a lot of fun with that, although that did fall by the wayside a lot as well. So I'm also going to get back into that and hopefully start another Patreon exclusive thing, which are usually rewatches for old shows that it's been long enough since I watched it that it's basically a blind reaction, very fresh. People have thrown around ideas for potential another one to do. Like I know one person suggested Toradora, because again, I haven't seen that in like a decade, so that would be a cool one to go back to. But there's plenty of nice candidates for that. Like Ika Musume, I watched that anime only once when it aired, and even though I really, really liked it, never watched it more than once. Don't know why, but you know, so there's that too at the $10 tier, and anything else I decide to make Patreon exclusive, maybe some kind of behind the scenes stuff, which I should start doing, but I gotta have an idea for that first. So maybe someday. You know, as a bit of a side note, with my reaction videos, I would usually move my webcam, like slide it all the way to one side of my monitor, so that would slide me to kind of one side. So if you wanted to watch your own anime footage, like, and kind of like place it on the same monitor as that I am at, there would be a spaceport that wouldn't block my face, you know? Like if I did show footage, that would be kind of like, you know, where I would have it, right? But the nice thing about the green screen is I don't have to physically move my camera. I could just, you know, move myself, or shrink myself as needed. So, you know, that's cool. As well as just, you know, making myself disappear. But green screens are fun. They're a giant pain to set up and everything, but they are really fun. I think that's about all I really wanted to say in this video. Just, I really don't want to give up on my channel. Like I've been doing this, have this channel for like what, 7 years at least. Like it feels like it's been a long time. You know, had a lot of fun with it, made some friends as a result of it. You know, all the comments I've gotten over the years, so some people like really giving fairly lengthy comments, you know, where they actually talk about the anime, talk about some of the things that I said and kind of what they agree with, what they disagree with. Just, it's always been a very fun thing. It would be very sad if I end up having to just like shelve it, because there's just no reason to have it as a high priority. And so it's just the more views, the more everything, the higher than all the numbers go up, the more it feels meaningful, right? So yeah, all I can do is just ask you guys to support the channel if you like it as best you can. Keep things going. There's been a couple YouTube channels that I did quite like that were somewhat small. Definitely wouldn't call them super successful, and they just stopped doing it, you know? They made like one final video kind of talking about why and just packing it up, you know, just kind of accepting that their channel is a failure, and it is what it is. Like I don't want to do that. It seems like a realistic thing, but I really want to at least have some period of time where I do feel like I'm giving it my all, put in all the effort I can with my limited time, and then if it still doesn't have any meaningful growth, then it can't be helped, you know. But I at least don't want to feel like I could have done more. So that's kind of what this is. So yeah, just thank you for watching, and hope to see you in future videos. Until then, bye bye.